Hi guys. I am super excited to finally be remembering that I said I was going to go live. Oh, when you have 3 kids, the priorities in your life are like honed in to the 3 kids. So that's totally okay. It's totally okay. So I wanted, I'll share this out later. If any of you love my topics, please share this live stream. Even if you're watching the replay, please share it in one of your spiritual groups. So I wanted to come to you, and I'm actually feeling called to draw a couple of cards for the group. Hi, Mandy. So I'm going to grab my Soul Trees deck. There it is. So a couple of cards for the group want to come out. Maybe to let people join, but give a little. Whoop, there's a card coming out right here. I feel like there's so many cards just wanting to fly out. There's card number 2. I don't know. Let's see how many cards come out here. Hi, Mandy. I see you. Let's do 4 cards. I like that number. 4. Whoa. It's almost like the deck's like, well, I don't know. I'll just shoot 4 cards out right here for you. No, 5. So we take that middle one. Hi, Mandy. I'm excited to talk about this. It's like just the work in the Akashic Records and the things I do, and obviously the new things I get excited about. I'm always so passionate about it. So it's fun. It's fun. Let's do these 4 cards. Let's let people join. Hi, Geraldine. So just because I have cards, I'm not doing any individual cards. I'm actually not doing that live on my own Facebook page anymore. So you can join one of my private communities and receive that goodness. It's amazing. But we have a first card for everybody who joins. We are at the beginning. Okay, so I do believe when you decide you're starting to undergo a spiritual awakening, okay, I do believe it is the beginning of sorts. We go through these cycles in our life, and when we finally, not only do we finally decide on the inside, but we start sort of walking the walk on the outside as well. It's one thing to think about wanting to do something, okay? And it's a whole nother thing to actually start doing it. Hi, Crystal. Hello. You did an aerial the other day, just like that Joy on the moon. The girl like going backwards. I remember your card. So that's what this is signifying. It's signifying that this, of course, is the beginning. And you'll have different phases throughout that spiritual awakening. But when you can start it off with this kind of beautiful clearing, which we're going to talk about, the soul realignment clearing, it's really an amazing way to kickstart your process of going through it. So let's look at our second card. We have an abundance card. So there's blessings of abundance coming around. Anybody who's watching and that has had their mind on prosperity and abundance and really just being in alignment, this is a hint here to get your chakras. I take it as a hint because look at this fabulous tree. It's like pretty much got all the colors of the chakra. Maybe not all in order, but I mean, it's a fabulous rainbow, beautiful tree. So get that all in alignment. So if you're having a problem attracting what you want, okay, it's time to start working with your chakras. Also, I just drew these just now, guys. Also, chakras, I mentioned in the little thing at the beginning. That's the next thing that we talk about. We talk about that in coaching. So thanks, cards. Which can help bring abundance in all areas of your life. It's not just about financial prosperity. It's like every area of your life. Gosh, I hope my internet connection stays good. So honor yourself. There's going to be times of deep work with ourself, on ourself, connecting up with our shadows, connecting up with our different levels of healing. Most important, it comes down to you when you're going through this awakening process. It's not about anybody else. It's about honoring you. And I know, oh my goodness, is my internet so low? I might have to go and find out if I have to turn off the TV. So there's honor yourself, and then there's change. And you better goddamn expect some sort of change when you go through the process of an awakening, when you go through the process of self-discovery, and especially diving into that shadow work. There is going to be an unimaginable amount of change. And a lot of it is, okay, I'm going to check on my internet connection before I hang up on y'all. I'm going to go and see what we need to do. Can we turn this off? I'm trying to be live and it's not working. Just turn the whole thing off. Can we read a book or send them outside for a little bit?
We'll go outside for a little bit.
Just for a little bit. I just need a little bit. Okay. You can use your iPad. Where's your iPad? It's right there. Well, it's right there. Find the iPad. Okay. I just wanted to see if we could turn off all devices. I picked the spot furthest away from the router to have my little meditation corner. Probably not the smartest idea. So, and I like this final change card. This is a really great set of 4 cards to get started on this conversation, because it is all about change. It's about going through the process of honoring ourselves and figuring out who that is and what that means. Hi Petra. Yeah, there's the sword in the background. I have that. I have a sword. I have a sword. I got that when I was a fitness competitor. It was an award. I have an award. I need whole separate internet in here. Yes, well, at the moment, it doesn't happen that way. I know. It would be nice. I think I'm going to look into a booster if there's something like that. And then I also have a she shed in the process of getting potentially built that's right next to the router on the other side. So, yeah, I know. So anywho, let's go and talk about that first session, that first couple of sessions when you're working with me. And we'll just call it the first month, really, because I have it set up where the first thing we do is we do a nice little welcome call. Everybody does a welcome call, right? Everybody's having a welcome call. We're welcoming you. I'm going to give you a lot of homework right away because it's stuff that needs to be moved out. So it's space clearing. It's going through your life and decluttering a bunch of stuff. And if you're not really ready for that, then I hesitate to find out if you're really ready to move forward, because it does take getting rid of the stagnant energy around you in order for you to start moving stagnant energy within you. And I think it helped me at the very beginning of my spiritual awakening process, even though I didn't know what the heck was going on, like way back in 2012. I got rid of almost everything. I fit everything into a minivan and I took off. I was like, bye, I'm going across country. So that really helps. When you slim everything down like that, you go through all of your closets, you go through everything. It's like this huge process. And that was the very beginning. I had no idea that was the beginning until it actually took me receiving a psychic reading for her to be like, I don't know why you keep saying you had your spiritual awakening like 3 or 4 years ago or whatever. It was actually, I see the number 2012, and I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. This is what was going on in my life. So this chaoticness, and I'm going to introduce you to a few goddesses as we're working through this process. And this first one, I'm going to get you started downloading books on Audible that I need you to listen to. You can read them. I encourage you to buy a book and read it. But I'm just telling you, I've gotten the book and then I've also gotten the Audible. And in these particular books, there's meditations that are included, and you might as well just be receiving that from the author's voice, because that author is also a healer as well, okay? They or she, in this case, it's women, they're channels of this information coming to you. I have nothing to not move to make this a clear area into the future. Yes. You gotta clear out everything. So it's called, I'm picturing like oracle cards in my head that I've had in the past that have all the cleared up. So when I was channeling this coaching program, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do soul realignment. Okay, that's what I'm going to start working on for the client. So we activate a relationship. We activate a coaching relationship. You start clearing out some of the obvious things in your life, which is like your home. I'm going to start working in your Akashic records, doing a soul realignment. So let's talk a little bit about that, because I have a lot of people that wonder what this exactly means about soul realignment. And in this session, in this realignment session, I go through and I investigate your past lives, and I find out what things are blocking you. Okay, so we have vows, we have bindings, we have curses, we have pacts, like making a pact with someone that serves you in that moment, and pacts of survival or whatever. It just doesn't always serve you energetically going forward. I might have mentioned curses. We have contracts. A lot of them are really, really wonderful contracts, but they just turn sour after a while. Wonderful stuff can turn sour. You guys have bought milk before, right? It's like you have the best things in lives, but over and over and over again, it just gets muddled up in this karmic will. It's like it's a muddy will. So what I'm going in there, we find out if there's any unjustified karma, any weird implants that have been put in you to make you act a certain way in certain situations. I find out all about that stuff, okay? And then I give you a little bit of information about the lifetimes that this occurred. I don't take you through a regression. A lot of people ask if this is a regression. And the reason why I think the closest, I've read a lot about past life regressions, not yet experienced one of my own. Maybe I should. I just haven't felt like, Holly, go get a past life regression. I haven't felt like that. I felt like that about a couple of things recently. But not that yet. So I follow those urgings, and I don't really follow the ones that I'm like, I'm not afraid of it. But from what I know about past life regressions is you definitely go deeper into a meditative and even potentially light trance-like experience. But what I'm saying is you're connected more readily to the emotional body that experience carried with it, and so you may actually find yourself getting a lot more weepy, having a different adrenaline response in your body while having a regression, which is totally what is supposed to happen during a past life regression. But that's not what we do during a soul realignment session. It's much more like a psychic reading. You still may get emotional and cry, and that's wonderful, because crying is a great release, but it's not because you're literally feeling the experience again. I'm telling you a story of the experience. And it might be making sense once we put it together as far as the things that are going on in your life and why they keep coming up. And then there's this gigantic emotional release. It's all part of that. It's all part of that. Crystal, I would love to do this session with you. It's an amazing session. It also includes the clearing work. So what we do is we do a clearing at the very end, and I go through, and on average we discover 3, 4, sometimes 5 lifetimes, things that need to come up. It's a 2-hour session. So I get pretty detailed. I don't leave any rock uncovered. Now, the way the Akashic records work and the way growing and healing works is, in 10 years, let's say you're discovering deeper levels of yourself that you're working towards and through, and you're also growing in different ways in your outward life. So you may all of a sudden have different things going on. You could go back into your Akashic records in a period of time in the future and have different things be coming up. So I can't go up and foresee all the things potentially in your life because there's a lot of free will. But we uncover quite a bit right now. If there's anything serious going on in the present day that needs to be talked about, negative thought forms, these are kind of communal thought forms that are out there that a lot of people have, and if you participate in them, sometimes they can get attached to you and stuck to you. So they're almost like present life attachments. It's a thought form. So I do a lot of work to release those. If you have any negative spirit guides, we release those right away. Although later we have a spirit guide session to go into detail about your spirit guides, what they're doing for you, what they're wanting you to know. So that's a couple of months into coaching, but that's also included. So I wanted to mention that. I think that, let's see, it looks like so far I've channeled, and they say that that's in month 3. And guys, also with this sort of timeline of what we're doing, I am flexible to what is happening in your life and what you're experiencing. But I also want to say, okay, let's take you through a certain process that allows you to take advantage of different tools right at the moment you need to for the next step, for being able to dive deeper. Okay, so you might say, oh, I really want to skip and work towards inner child healing first, or mother issues, or whatever it might be. But we might not be able to do that. It's just that we need to save that for the right time, because you need a bunch of tools in order for you to be more successful at going deeper. You need your flashlight, you need your headlamp, you need to know what's going on ahead of you, and to have all of that available to you. So I'll be doing all of that in soul realignment and clearing out all the things that are blocking you. Thank you, Petra. It is so empowering. Let me see what you're saying here. Yeah, you know what? I'm hearing in a lot of my readings that people need to get out into nature. That it's a huge part of recharging and staying connected with sort of the flow and the heartbeat. I know there's the heartbeat of Mother Earth, and we can all stay connected to that. And it sort of grounds us in that same manner, on that communal level of, we're all humans and we're all here having this experience, all as sort of the same energetic connection. So yeah, we work. Let me get a sip of water here. What else about soul realignment? Okay, yes. I'm forgetting the first part about a soul realignment session. That's where we go through your soul profile. That's a session I also have done standalone, if somebody wanted to just discover more about who they are on a soul level, but not go into the realignment part. So the soul profile, the reason why I like to do this, and it just goes so naturally with the soul realignment, because you first discover what star system you originated from as an energetic being before you came to Earth to be a human being. If there are any star systems that you traveled to that are playing a role in your sort of soul's personality and the experiences that your soul sets up, or not so much the experiences, but the way you're supposed to work through those experiences. You have tools from before you came here to help you with that. It also talks about what your divine gifts are. So this would be what your sort of I don't tell you what you're supposed to do with your life or what your life purpose is, but I tell you more about how you go about doing that so that you work within your strengths. So these line up to what your primary energy centers are. And we all have, 7 different energy centers, but that's where we dive a little bit more deeply into the understanding what those mean and how you can work with the ones that come across as your strengths. Okay. So how can you have that support you in what you do? We talk about what your soul specializations are, which is just another category, area of what your soul is really good at and what it's meant to do. So I guess this would get closer into what your gifts are. But gifts is also separate, I feel like, from life purpose. Hear me out. My gift is I'm psychic. Okay, my life purpose is what I decide to do with that. If anything, my service and life purpose, my gift, okay, is different than my life purpose, but they are intertwined and connected. At least that's the goal. So we find out where you're at as far as your soul vibration, right? Everybody's talking about raising their vibration, so we can talk about that a little bit more. I feel like I'm forgetting something with the soul profile, but I do basically a get to know you at a soul level, and then find out what's blocking you, what's preventing you from moving into a state of abundance, okay? We get that all cleared out and realigned. That's why it's called soul realignment. And you do a little bit of homework with that. That's part of that session. So I would say after, in that first month, we meet probably 2 to 3 weeks after our welcome call. And that's our first really big session. But before that, we're going to be staying connected on a daily basis if you want to, Monday through Friday anyway. I do take the weekends to focus on my family and the other sectors of client relationships that I have. Thank you, Petra. Thank you. I appreciate it, darling. So I will be with you. I'll be talking about the clearing process, talking about you dedicating a sacred spot in your home so that when you go someplace to connect with your goddesses, your ascended masters, the archangels, with yourself if you're going to meditate, which actually that's part of it. I think most people that come to me are already meditating, but if you're not, we start on a meditation routine, like a 21-day meditation routine. So there's a lot you're doing before the soul realignment session. I know a lot of people are like, oh, okay. But that's a huge session. It's I also want to let anybody know that has already had soul realignment that you can get a discount off of your coaching. This is limited time only, because I also feel like if you wait a long period of time, like I said, if you've gotten soul realignment from me like 5 years ago, which is not yet because I haven't been quite doing it that long, but for example, you might need another soul realignment session. What's happened in the meantime? Have you done anything? Did you just sort of fall off the spiritual wagon? Like what? Because you're part of the process too. It's not just the universe and the clearing work. It's not just going to solve every and all problem for you. That's why I've lined up coaching to come along with this. So you'll have a couple of short videos of mine to watch. You'll have books that I recommend, couple that are required, okay, because there's always some required reading. Then so there's some recommended if you wanted to take deeper dives. I'm just going to like open up my bookshelf to you guys, okay? What's out? Let's see. We're going to, in month 2, this is, so then after we have our soul realignment session, you have a little bit of homework going along with that, but we start helping you understand more deeply what your chakras are doing, which ones are in alignment, which ones are out of alignment, how to keep them in alignment, and to help you energetically with doing a little mini clearing at each of our sessions in that second month. So normally we have a couple of sessions like every 2 weeks, and we just check in with that. And then I also get you a little bit deeper understanding of some goddess work. So we have you start working with the goddess Kali, because after soul realignment, she's the goddess of transformation. She's the goddess of kind of really allowing one portion of your life to slow down and move to another portion of your life, to really opening yourself up spiritually, to really discovering, what it's like for this birth, this cycle that we all are part of. Let me know if anybody's have any questions. I want to make sure. I know a lot of people are probably catching the replay. I do these live streams like right in the middle of dinner time because it's like I have these moments right before I have to go make dinner. I don't know. I was trying to go live at lunchtime today because I think that's a really super popular time. So let's see. We awaken your chakras. We do a chakra analysis. We talk about what it means to start working with your personal energy centers. So one thing that I thought was lacking when I would do a client session for soul realignment is I was like, after soul realignment, that was kind of it. Like, I'm here to support you, but my guides were very specific. Like, they paid for a session, don't become a coach. If you keep saying you're not a coach, don't become a coach. And I think it was after a while I started to put these pieces together, and I said, okay, I feel like I can still encourage them and support them on how to really start activating their primary and secondary energy center. So let me talk about energy center. So what's an energy center? It's similar to a chakra, but they carry on like the meanings behind the chakras, and all of us have a primary, secondary, 1, 2, or sometimes 3 that we're working with on a great level, a big scale. So there's like the energy center of compassion. There's the energy center of creation, energy center of order. There's the energy center of love and healing. All of them are very healing, but there's the energy center of love. There's the energy center of communication. There's the energy center of truth and clear sight. I bet you guys know what that one is, your third eye. There's the energy center of power, and then the energy center of wisdom. And so you find out which ones you're actually, your soul is basically energized with at a more pronounced way. We all embody all characteristics, and that's why we can find balance, but there are a few that we're really good at. So this is like saying that, you know, you have somebody that's really good at seeing how to organize things, how to structure things. You have somebody that might be a really good architect. You have somebody that might be really good at building like an entire sort of project out of a visual scope and putting it down on paper because they can see that. Well, you have someone that can see somebody and tell how they're hurting, what to do with them. So you would want to send one to school to be a designer, and the other would potentially be better off going to be a doctor or a healer of some sort. And if you switch around with them, that's where we start creating problems where you don't feel like you're in alignment with what you're doing in the world. So this is a really beautiful way of being able to connect with finding out what that is. So Mandy, I have it right now. I have it as like a one time. And so I'm going to have to work it out. I think it's just something we talk about in the interview process that we connect with and talk about that on a deeper level, because again, this is brand new. This is sort of like 2019 is, I'm doing it as a soft launch right now. I've got the energy exchange down that I'm launching it at now, but I already know it'll probably go up to 2020 in 2020, just as a fun, next level up. But I also don't think I want to go that much more than like $2,000 to undergo a spiritual coaching program, because I can't break the bank over something that is everybody's right to go through. I'm just offering a guidance and support system. So Crystal, this year for 2019, it's $1,444. $1,444. And I haven't even talked about the last 3 months or so. So that's another thing. I kind of want to save that for another session to go into a little bit more detail, but I'll quickly just let you know what you're getting as a loose structure for the rest of it. I do another session where I connect with your guides. I'm trying to remember if I already described that earlier when I was talking about soul realignment. This is one where we talk about the different guides that are working with you on a deep level in this lifetime. And then I sort of have a little bit open flexibility on what comes to me, because this is your spiritual awakening. So we're talking about things that are going on for you. I do introduce you more deeply to tarot and oracle cards. Okay, so I really want you to learn how to trust your own intuition. And when you start working with your own spirit guides, this is just a really, really beautiful way to seamlessly step into communication with them. Yeah. Hey, Ron. Hello. Yes. Sharing is caring. Share me out. Yeah, I battled it for a long time because I'm like, listen, I have all of these selections. So honestly, what I did is I took a lot of my different selections that I have separate, and I said, I think they will work better if I was to combine them into a large package. But you can't it's not like I can do all of this for somebody right away within a 30-day period, because you start to lose a little integration and things just start to, I've done it before where I've taken too many classes and some pretty important ones I didn't integrate them whatsoever, and I have to go back and do it. And that's always more challenging to go back and do another class again than to have taken, I think, a proper amount of time before experiencing something else to really fully integrate what you're learning. So I thought it was very important for that. Let's see, we dive into... it really depends. So what I do is I take a little look at what needs to happen. We have in either month 4 or 5 or switched around. So this is again where it gets really personalized, because there's no wrong or right way to go about this process. Once you have your guides that you're working with, you know how to connect with them, you're starting to develop that trust. Once you know how to clear your chakras, you know how to do psychic protection for yourself, you know how to sense when you're not in alignment, and even how to use a pendulum to start asking your own body what you can do with it. So I'm going to teach you this process as well. I actually have a class on pendulums. I'm going to have you do that as part of coaching, because that would be a lot to teach somebody one-on-one, but I have already done a class on that. So once you do that, then we can go deeper into inner child healing. We can go deeper into healing the mother line. All at the same time, I start introducing you. I work mostly with women, so I start introducing you to your cyclical nature, and we start working with the moon a little bit more. So this is all stuff that happens in the last few months, and then really starting to put it all together with an understanding of how to move forward, potentially on your own. I mean, my goal also at the end of all of it is to have you ready to say, okay, I am so glad I had Holly as a best friend throughout this process and this support person, but now I am ready. I'm ready to go out and experience it and to see where I get led from there. So if you wanted to go deeper with me, if there is a deeper at that time, we'll see, because I don't even think that, I mean, right now there isn't. It's right now, this is where this is at. I did want to let everybody know, and it's not going to be, I won't be able to go into the detail in this live stream, but I kind of gave you the information for a single person going through this process, but I also feel like very, very deeply connected to taking a whole family on a spiritual journey. And so I know sometimes it's hard to get our husbands involved in it, our partners involved in it, but I have either add-on sessions at the end where we can dedicate some time, or even just sprinkling extra sessions into it. We would just do like a family session rate where we talk about how to get your family involved in opening up their intuition, trusting in their instincts, talking about that, really learning how to protect themselves, how to sense when something is not right for them so they can use their sort of better judgment for them instead of letting it go against them. So there's a lot that we can do for families, because I feel like it's really important too, for us to be raising the next generation more consciously connected than we were, because I don't know, I would like to have known a little bit earlier than maybe like 33 years old how to shield myself from negative energy, how to protect myself. I maybe would have done a lot less shielding and protecting myself with like drugs and alcohol and things like that. And you know what? I'm all about transparency. There's no reason for me to be ashamed of my journey and what got me here. I just do wish. I'm like, I wish I understood what I was doing when I was doing all those things. I was tuning everything out. And it took the trigger of my spiritual awakening in 2012, which I gotta tell you was like seriously 4 years before I even thought that I was having a spiritual awakening. And that's when I started shifting. That's when I finally stopped all of that. I did some crazy fitness competitions in 2011. Completely sobered up, just decided, that's why I have this sword. Petra was talking about it, guys. But that's why I have it behind me too, because I know exactly how strong I am, and the kind of willpower I have to be able to accomplish something. So, anyway. Well, Crystal, I want to thank you for being here. You've been here for most of it. And thank you for popping on, Mandy and Ron and everybody who might be watching this. Petra was here. I'm not sure if she's still here. I just want to thank you guys, you ladies, Ron, for your amazing energy. Sharing is caring. So please send this out. I'm going to share it to a few places. I hope that I inspire you to ask me some questions. Find out if it's right for you. See where you're at in your journey. Reach out to me on Messenger. Send me a voice message or text. I do really well communicating that way initially because I'm a mom. So I only work like 3 days a week where I have a babysitter. And that's when I really focus on client work, preparing for sessions, doing readings, doing a coaching session, for someone. And then the other days when I'm just bouncing around in between everything, I'm communicating via text message. So send me a message on Messenger. Yeah, it's beautiful. Hi, Margaret. I think you caught me on the live. Yeah, Crystal, there's a lot of the experiences I had, and I'm not sure which of the ones in my 20s were necessarily exactly preparing me for now, but I have pointed out many times where my guardian angels were supporting me, because I could have gotten in a situation where it was potentially very bad for me, very soul damaging, and maybe I wouldn't have been able to come out of it and really do what I wanted to do, what my soul wanted to do with this life. And so I'm not upset about those situations, but I'm really glad I started listening, and it started kind of triggering something inside of me. I'm glad for the earth angels that were sent out to support me, to encourage me to try a fitness competition. I'm still Facebook friends with her. So it's really beautiful that the people that I can see that played a role in it, and I don't even know if they knew about it. They were just like, they were just there, just waiting for that opportunity to help shine a light on me and my situation and my gifts. So yeah, Margaret, you're here. You caught me live. You caught me live today. So yeah, just reach out to me. I know that soul realignment, that getting in touch with your guides, that starting to understand your energy centers, the magnetism that your chakras have. That's why I love this abundance card so much. It's so awesome that it came up, because it is absolutely to create abundance in every area of your life. If you're not aligning your chakras on a regular basis, and if you're not understanding where what's going on with each of them, that way in life, when certain things are going on, if you don't understand the chakra that it's working with, you don't know where to go to start to fix it and support it. So I give you a little bit more understanding of all of that as part of this. You honor yourself, you heal yourself, and you see some real change. So all right, I'm going to go and see what I need to do to take care of my family. I hope everybody has a really good day, really good afternoon. Send me a little message. I think we talked a lot. I covered a lot of this. We're going to talk about different goddesses. We're going to talk about Mother Mary. We're going to talk about Kuan Yin. We're going to talk about Hecate. I've just started working with her. I think I'm saying her name right, Hecate. We're going to talk about Isis. So we're going to talk about so many of the goddesses and how they can support you, because I really feel that this is something that's going to help us really move through into our spiritual awakening, is owning the goddess support that we all have. All right, you guys, I'm done. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox. Have a great day.